Here's something for you. I have a friend. Yeah, I do have one. He's a fire chief. And I was asking him about some of the local fires that happen around here. And we've had some good ones, as you know, or may not. You know, the Storm King fire, some pretty good ones up here in the mountains. And you know, he was telling me that the fire takes on a life of its own, creates its own heat, creates its own atmosphere. It consumes. It does not get its thirst quenched. The fire drives. You know, God calls himself a consuming fire, like that, and it creates its own atmosphere, and it burns, and it just envelops. And the evidence is for everyone to see, just like a big fire is. The evidence is for everyone to see. Obviously, you see the clouds. If it's a big enough fire, it goes around the world. The smoke just goes everywhere. Same with God. That consuming fire goes everywhere. And you can look back in history where a revival breaks out, like the Azusa Street revival or the Welsh revival, or on and on and on, and the smoke and the effects go around the world. The revival that's going on in Reading or currently, and the one in Argentina, the one in Kansas City, the different outbreaks of God, the different consuming fires, the fire of God that's falling on men, and it's really kind of fun to see. And it's really kind of fun to experience. The consuming fire that burns away everything. And why am I talking about this? You know, because it comes down to this. One of the coolest ladies ever was the mother of Jesus, Mary. And she had this little prayer that you can read about in Luke chapter 1. It's around, I think, 46 through 50, and she finds out she's pregnant. She finds out that God's going to use her. Okay, and here's the crazy thing. She has to carry a stigma of an unwed mom that's pregnant, and she has to carry the stigma the rest of her life. And in that day and age, they probably would have stoned her or killed her or sent her out someplace else. But she was taking care of. God took care of her, and she had this thing to say. She rejoiced that God was going to use her. Isn't that cool? She rejoiced that God had chosen her to use her, and that she would bear that burden of that stigma the rest of her life. And she still rejoiced. And she says of this, His mercy flows wave after wave. His mercy flows wave after wave. That consuming fire is wave after wave of goodness. Wow. That's so cool. Here's my prayer. I pray God just blesses you. I pray His all-consuming fire gets a hold of your heart. I pray that the smoke will be seen around the world, and that the wave after wave of His goodness and mercies follows you. It's piled up high. It heaps upon heaps of goodness. And that you bear the effects of it year after year. Even if it's a bad stigma, it's still God's stigma on you. It's yours. It's mine. God's goodness. Consuming fire. God bless you. Have a great day.